Maybe we'll just go outside and play the real thing instead. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst sports games ever. For this list, we're taking a look at some of the worst sports games we've had the misfortune of playing. Please note that we won't be considering racing games, as those have been placed in a top 10 of their own. I'm Todd Habercorn, and yes, I have played many a sport. Now, I didn't say I played them well. And I can't say that I've never scored points for the opposing team on accident, but what I can tell you is, I know how to spell the word sport.
Let's get ready to Mojo!
Number 10, Michael Phelps, Push the Limit.
Match the stroke rate to build the boost bar.
Michael Phelps put on an impressive performance for the 2008 Beijing Olympics, but did that really merit his own video game? Alright, you hesitated too long. The answer should have been a deafening no. The mere fact that this was a Kinect game should be enough to tell you just how awful the controls were. Ooh, hashtag Kinect burn! And yet, the head-shaking quality doesn't stop there. Push the Limit was way too hard, and considering how this game required physical performance, you can only imagine how exhausted players were just after one level. Needless to say, Push the Limit didn't take home a gold, silver, or bronze. It took home a Brown Award.
The silver medal awarded for second place. The crowd showing their appreciation for a fine performance.
Number 9, FIFA 15, PC version.
Well, that's risky going in like that.
Well, it is. He saw the ball and he thought he could win it, but just a fraction off.
Okay, the whole thing with EA and the FIFA 18 loot crates, downright insulting. Even so, after looking across the entire franchise, we have to say that FIFA 15 remains the absolute worst. While console players were having little to no troubles, PC players were facing multiple technical issues. There was rarely a moment where the game wasn't lagging or stuttering, and the game quickly got annoying with the audio bugs and lighting issues. Basically, PC gamers paid $60 for a game that was better used as a bludgeoning device.
He's certainly got to be. Really powerful shot, and the goalkeeper able to deal with it.
Number 8, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. The Mario Tennis games have been astoundingly consistent in terms of quality, which is what made Mario Tennis Ultra Smash so extremely disappointing.
Deuce.
How do you make a Mario game so incredibly boring? Ultra Smash felt as boring as a training level on a knitting game. Its lack of unique game modes and overly simplistic gameplay proved it. It was so bland that it felt like someone modded Mario characters in Virtual Tennis or Top Spin. As for the roster, we couldn't shake off the strange feeling that some characters were missing. In hindsight, that was probably Nintendo saying they were giving up on the Wii U. Pour one out for your digital homies.
Receiver.
Number 7, Tony Hawk Ride. The fate of Tony Hawk Ride was sealed the moment we saw the peripheral. But then, we got to try it for ourselves, and it proved to be even more of a disaster than we could have imagined. Advertised as a way for gamers to put down the controller and step on the board, Ride included a skateboard peripheral that would sense your weight distribution and when you pedaled. As you'd expect, it was unresponsive the majority of the time, which frustrated just about anyone who played it. Did we mention that Activision wanted $120 for the game and board? You'd be safe to assume that retailers were left with full shelves.
On the board in there, and I got that sense of flow. I thought, wow, this is like the first time I could really get into a game.
Number 6, WCW Backstage Assault.
This could very well become the most tragic display of brutality that I have ever seen.
For every good wrestling game we've played, there's a dozen bad ones to make us really appreciate it. Even against steep competition, WCW Backstage Assault remains a notably bad standout. Controls were way too stiff, and the same goes for its animations. Just to make things worse, the sound design was appalling. Really, when does slamming someone on asphalt sound like hitting a plastic bag?
Hogan is going to need some time to recover from that move. Goodness!
Couple that with a weak roster of wrestling stars and repetitive gameplay, and you've got one seriously lackluster title. Between the game and a flare chop across the chest, we'd take the flare chop.
What could possibly top this match? We'll find out next time.
Number 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Just when we thought the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series couldn't sink any lower, Activision proved us wrong. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 failed to capture what made the series so enjoyable, leaving out many features from previous titles. To make matters worse, the game was nearly unplayable due to multiple technical issues such as frame rate drops, stutters, and crashing. Pro Skater 5 tried so hard to bring the party back, but in the end, it suffered a worse fate than getting popsicled. Especially since all the modes required an online connection, and as all the servers shut down in 2017, this thing is now truly dead. Number 4, Slam City with Scottie Pippen. Wow, never even heard of this. If we had to choose any game to play on this list, we'd choose Slam City with Scottie Pippen, but not for the right reasons. Slam City aimed to excel in immersion, but forgot to make anything else fun. The end result was a game that relied entirely on laughably bad FMV. Seriously, when you see Scottie Pippen dancing around a PNG file for the first time, it's something else. Oh, and we can't forget about that ludicrous Superman dunk. On paper, the game sounds great, but this was merely a child's fantasy made up of crappy cutscenes and a lot of Scottie Pippen smack talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, kid. Ace Wax Juice.
Yo, Ace, you the man.
Number 3, The Simpsons Wrestling.
Hidey ho! Hidey ho!
Backstage assault may have been bland and mediocre, but at least it wasn't frustrating to the nth degree. The Simpsons Wrestling is one of the most aggravating games you'll ever play.
Aw, don't be a nervous Nelly, Ned. I'll make this as short and painful as possible.
In addition to the god-awful controls and animation, the game has some of the most broken and unbalanced gameplay imaginable. Characters can cheese you easily, and you'll end up wanting to smash your controller rather than your opponent's face. The Simpsons doesn't exactly have a flawless track record when it comes to video games, but most can agree that The Simpsons Wrestling, in particular, can eat our shorts. See how I did that? Brought it back around, baby.
Well, I hate to be a boastful Boris, but I'm the bee's knees, if you please.
Number 2, Rugby World Cup 2015.
Advantage to Argentina.
The worst mistake you can make in video games is releasing your game for the sake of coinciding with an event. Like a number of movie tie-ins, Rugby World Cup 2015 would suffer this fate.
And make no mistake about it, this will be the pinnacle for every one of these players on the field today.
The game was plagued with several bugs and glitches, and the AI was some of the dumbest we've ever had the distinct displeasure of playing against. Still not irritated? Well, the controls will certainly get to you. From the abysmal overall quality, it's easy to tell that the game was rushed out to line up with the 2015 rugby tournament. I want to thank you, Rugby World Cup 2015, because now you've removed yourself from my game playlist and I can get that much closer to playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I know I'm behind. Before we reveal our worst pick, here are a few dishonorable mentions.
Puts it up for 2. That shot won't go.
Can you take me to my pimp, honey?
Approaching half-time. That's a fantastic kick. The goalie.
The great players always come back the following season better than the previous year.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Ashes Cricket 2013.
in with the slower ball.
Now this is what you call a train wreck. We wish we could say Ash's Cricket 2013 was awful in just graphics, bugs, and sound, but that would be an understatement. No, it was literally everything.
It's up.
Oh, good catch.
The game ran as if it had just come out of pre-alpha, and we're not talking about one of the iterations of Street Fighter. Reviews were scathing, and the game was pulled only 4 days after launch, but they didn't stop there. Social media accounts related to the game were deleted, and all future ports of Ash's Cricket 2013 were swiftly canceled. On top of that, 505 Games put out a public apology and immediately began refunding players. Owie.
Smashed, but straight to the fielder. That's gone. What a brilliant piece of fielding.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on MojoPlays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.